great. I just went live and that's what they heard. That's the first thing they heard.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You're right. That is pretty awesome. What a great way to get ATF on Ajahn. I've lived. At some point, I'm like, I don't care anymore. All right. I'm not trying to. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to. I. Other people have. Other people, when they go live, it's all like proper, correct, politically correct. Every time I go live, someone always slips something in there, or something always mess up, and I'm like, you know what, whatever. This is me. This is my karma. This is how we've been doing things, and it is what it is.
I know what you want. Nope.
Set up Wi-Fi. Please share.
It's just a mouse that he destroyed.
Oh. Okay, because I couldn't tell what it was. I knew it was a rock or was it poop or was it what? I was like,
It's a mouse with no ears or tail.
Do you remember the password?
Yes.
Can you clock it in? I don't know why it's not sharing right now. We're gonna get started here shortly, folks.
It's kosher.
Yes.
It's
Way
good.
Too much.
Yeah. I got shits too.
Awesome. And I should go live on Instagram.
Quit.
My ropes are falling apart. Gracious. Okay. All right, so I am in Virginia with my students, and I am alert, alive, conscious, and breathing normally. I am not actively grieving or mourning right now. I am mindful, I am present. I would rather be here. I wouldn't trade any other place right now than to be here. Beautiful Virginia, weather, and we have a lot of things to do in the forthcoming days. However, these students with me, especially Bree's been with me, one of the longest attending students in studying the Dhamma, the history of the Buddha, followed by Christine, who have also been diving in heavily into cognitive behavioral therapy and the life of Buddha in according to the Pali Canon. So it is the teacher's responsibility and job that he chooses the right time, place to introduce to them the persistent practice of mindfulness of the breath, samadhi. So it is prerequisite for them to go into the monasteries and to attend, to be in flux and flow with the program of the monastery. Nothing worse than beginning students who walk into a monastery under a guidance of an active teacher who holds the status and rank of an Ajahn, and they're like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what these chants mean. I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to do. They're having us meditate, and I'm just lost. Right. So it's an embarrassment to the active presiding teacher, and it is an embarrassment to oneself, and a person is just lost, and one should not be lost. So it's my job to ensure that everyone knows exactly what's going on within the Theravadan system in order of how to, behave, and how to observe, how to listen, and receive instructions when everyone gets together, back straight, shoulder relaxed, right hand over left, with the two thumbs barely touching each other. Okay. So today is going to be that guided meditation, the universal way that it is being taught, and the way that I teach it, which is simple, easy. So everyone can choose your own. If you're comfortable where you are, okay, you can. So you guys choose right now whether you want to lie down or you want to sit in such a posture, because we've been active all day, and I just want you guys to be in a restful state of mind, and so is your body. So it doesn't matter if you choose to sit. I'll give instructions on sitting, and if you lie down, then we'll do body scan. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I lay down, I might not get up.
I will be asleep. So it's gonna stay sick.
So we'll do the sitting first, and then as you go into your rooms, I will give you some last final instructions on how to start messing with lying down meditation. Okay. The White House calling you. All right. So when we're sitting and meditating, typically it always starts with mindfulness of the breath, with this samatha. It is a one-pointed concentration technique. Okay. And the breath usually is the object of meditation because there's not really much excitement in it, and there's rarely any drawbacks with it, but you can see impermanence in the breath. So since you both like to choose the monastery that you have, typically it's a Butto technique, the Thai tradition, Butto. Every Wat has to know Butto. If a Wat doesn't know Butto, I don't know what kind of Wat y'all have chosen, you know. So let us master Butto for just a couple minutes, okay? So back straight, shoulder relaxed. Let us take our three first deep breaths, okay? So you want to inhale through your nostrils. And you can exhale through your mouth within the first 3 deep breaths. But subsequently, you will also exhale through the nostrils. Inhale and exhale through the nostrils during regular frequency of mindfulness of the breath. So let us take a minute to really hone in at the nostrils. Okay, right above the upper lip, how the air goes in. Right now we're just scientists experimenting with our breath. Is that a speaker?
No. That's, yeah.
Is it what?
That's the heater.
That's a €200 heater?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't moved by it. I was just like, is there heat or steam coming from somewhere? Or is there a safety concern where things might catch on fire?
No, it's just the air being pushed out of the radiator.
Okay. So far, any questions on what we just did, which is mindfulness of the breath through the nostrils?
I did notice that I can feel my breathing in and out. At least right now, only on one side of my nose. Not sure if that means anything.
Okay. Mindfulness of breath is very cool because what the Buddha wanted us to note was, is my breath short? Is my breath long? Is it strong or is it weak?
Pick up on that.
So you can actually do that with your eyes open. You just Start noting. You're putting all of your attention into you can actually listen to the out breath internally within your eardrums. When you breathe in, and then when you breathe out, the two eardrums here start like noticing how the air is coming out, being pushed out slowly. So try to note, whether the breath comes in its frequency, which one is slow, which one is fast, which one is strong, which one is weak. No different if you were a scientist working for Dyson, you're an engineer trying to come up and create a vacuum cleaner. Air has to go in and air has to go out. In this moment, y'all can open your eyes. Was there any distractions?
No, actually.
You sure that was not a distraction? Any other sounds that grabbed your attention away from particularly the mindfulness of the breath?
The only thing I kept thinking about was how long to breathe in for and how long to breathe out for.
Ah.
Like, I've heard some people say, like, it's like normal breathing, and then others, you take like very deep breaths, and then you try to take very slow breaths out.
Okay. Right now, notice how I did not give instructions on that?
Yeah.
Right now, I just want you to just go with the flow of your body.
Okay.
But anytime when I said breathe in and hold 4 and breathe out, we're forcing it. We're trying to control something that is very difficult to control. Very difficult to control. Right? And that's why, meditation has to be done slowly, methodically, like Kundalini style. It's like one nose.
Yeah.
And then really force their breath, and that's not pleasurable. If you think about it, it's not very pleasurable. You have to force anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And plus, it while you're working and stuff like that you already have different stresses coming through your body and mind, and you notice how your breath becomes shorter because you're so stressed. It's a little like micro breaths. That's why people like run out of breath. Well, when they're stressed, the physiological response is just sounds short, but it's frequent, and that's not good for the body because the body's preparing for fight and flight mode, fight or flight. So when you're meditating, our job is we were focusing on everything else, but the one system that is very important, because once you hold your breath too long, you might die. So people don't really, when I'm teaching you all to be your own respiratory therapist, you know what I mean? So as your mind is focusing on the computer screen, or your mind is thinking about the future, or your mind is thinking about the past, it's doing everything but the one thing that needs to keep you alive, regulate your blood flow, your blood pressure, your heartbeat, which is the respiratory system. So, so I want you, in moments that you're like, okay, right now, I can feel it coming. Whatever the hell is coming, it's coming. And I just need to take your index, put it right where your nostril is, and breathe in. And then breathe out. Feel the warmth?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? You're like, oh my God, I'm a scientist. I don't need any tools. I got hand, fingers, I got everything that's built in, right? And the Buddha was, the potent thing was on my way here, I was listening to Ajahn Man. One of your books here was Ajahn Chah's teacher, which is Ajahn Man. And Ajahn Man was like very into. It's probably down there.
Oh yes.
It's not that one. Is it? Yeah, it is that one.
Ajahn Chah.
Okay. Ajahn Man was really into samadhi, which is kind of strange for an arahant that cultivated more than 30 arahants under him to push samadhi so strong versus other teachers pushing vipassana. And it was me that tapped into the experience of nirvana by and through samadhi, same thing.
Okay.
And it was by I think it was Sayathet or Upakin, one of the two, that claimed that you can see the 3 marks of existence and you can become an arahant with just mindfulness of the breath alone. And not necessarily having to cycle through vipassana, through the complicated 4 foundations of mindfulness. So, but the fact that I got to experience that and entered into bliss, I realized that statement is true, and I can attest to that. Whereas other people, I've never heard a monk say that they can attest to it because they've probably never experienced it. So therefore, I'm a teacher that will emphasize heavily and frequently on mindfulness of the breath. So that's why we're going to analyze the breath often and use different methods of analyzing the breath and just noting, because you see, your whole life you've been distracted. This, that, phone calls, this, that, so distracted. So when we sit in silence, in boringness, complete boringness, and trying to focus on something that is quite fairly boring to any Americans that's watching HBO right now. So your mind's going to try to deviate from what we're trying to do. That's why I have to stop and ask, any distractions? If there isn't, we're doing great. If there is, I got to know about it. Okay?
No distractions. I noticed that breathing in, I was fine. But when I was breathing out, I noticed my breath was short. So I don't know if that means that my endurance is not good or just it is.
Make sure the nose is clear of any mucus or any obstructions of anything. But right now, you all are babies in mindfulness of the breath. So of course, the experience is not going to be like what you think. Like, why can't I reach nirvana tonight?
Why is it
No,
so comfortable?
no. It could take months and years. Okay? But that's why I'm easing you all into the door of it. So that, and the next conversation we have on the phone is not, well, it's going to be, how's your week been? And then, how many times in a day did you practice mindfulness of the breath? Now, it changes everything. The instructions are given, and there'll be follow-up thereafter. No different than a doctor giving you a pill, and he's like, so have you been taking your amlodipine often? Or Seroquel, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But if you're reporting back to me twice a week, and so now you have to emphasize on your journaling. Now you really have to document, no different than anybody else who are keeping track of their blood pressure, like my mother, who kept track of her blood pressure, a log. So now you put in a log of how many times you meditated. Okay. It's the only way to catch yourself whether you are meditating enough or not enough to report back to me. Since now it's an active homework. Okay. While you were sitting, wait, are you leaning?
Yeah, I'm kind of like back against the.
Okay, which is fine. But typically when we're meditating on the floor, or that's why I said, either choose to lay down or sit. But if you sit, you have to not lean.
Oh. Okay.
Because part of this too is mindfulness of the body. Breath and body, you can have to like cycle it, because when your mind start moving away from what we're doing, you have to like be clever and jump back into your body. and be like, okay, is my foot falling asleep?
Mm-hmm.
So then you start changing your focus and attention and noting what's going on with your body, the pain, the discomfort, right? Or your low back and stuff like that, without attaching on to the discomfort or the pain, which is, oh God, I cannot believe this is happening again. I need some acupuncture. I cannot believe I'm blah, 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 blah. That's how people get themselves very frustrated, and that's why meditation becomes so difficult. And they're like, I've tried it, it don't work. You know, you ask any Americans out in the street, have you tried meditation? Yes. How long? 2 minutes. Are you ever going back to it? No. When was the last time you went back to it? Never. Because they attach, this is what Yuta Tammo teaches people, is that don't attach onto it and to see things as they are. When Yuta Tammo teaches Vipassana, his is the most simple Mahasi technique, which is to note it and just it, and that's it. There's no attachment of it. So it's like when you're meditating and you start to hear things, he says, just note it. Hearing, 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 hearing. So it's the aggregates. He wants you to tap into the aggregates of what it is as they are. Just hearing. And don't say, I hear a cat and I think that cat could be a leopard or a tiger or a lion or some sort of a feline. You see how you can start analyzing further and get yourself into trouble. Okay, so again, so when you have chosen to sit in this lotus style, right? Correct your back if your posture starts to slump. Your shoulder. So the instructions are always back straight, shoulders relaxed, bringing a small smile to your face. Back to the nostrils. Okay, now we're going to do something fun. Now both of you guys take your hands, put them on your tummy. Now get comfortable, holding your tummy just lightly, and then inhale and exhale. And just focus on the rising and falling of the abdomen. Okay, slowly relax your concentration from the tummy and feedback for any thoughts that moved while you were focusing on your tummy.
I noticed it was hard for me I was able to breathe in and I was breathing out, but I only felt it here. It was hard for me to kind of feel the in and out of my belly, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm not breathing low enough, or maybe the discomfort of my stomach from earlier, I'm not sure. But yeah, I did notice that, like, I couldn't really feel the inhale and the exhale of my belly. I only felt it like appeared in my lungs. That's the only thing I noticed.
So try it again now to try to fill the balloon up. So what we're trying to do is fill the balloon up. So it's a balloon, and now you're conceptualizing and feeling it directly, and that's what we're trying to do, is fill the balloon up. Ready? Go ahead. That means a deep breath.
struggling. Like, I have to do a really deep breath for me to do that. And I don't know if that's, I'm not trying to put an excuse behind it, but I don't know if that comes from the discomfort of my stomach. I don't know if that's coming from because of my asthma.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm not fully able to, with maybe more practice, yes, it'll come more naturally. Not that I'm forcing to push down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
But right now, I just want you all to see the different types of methods and techniques, so that when you're working or doing stuff, you can cycle through. I need to be able to feel my breath in and out, because you can't see it, so you got to feel it, either with your index finger, trying to analyze it right here where the nostril is, or be like a kid, where I teach kids to do this, because that's the only way they're going to meditate or know how, is by holding their tummy. And I say, fill your balloon up. Your tummy's a balloon. Fill it up and let it out. And that's when they're like, oh, it's the simplest, easiest method to stay in the present moment.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling your tummy. Your brain is literally like, you're sending signals like, okay, I'm touching my tummy. I know I'm touching my tummy. And that's what the Buddha wanted us to do, is to know what it is that you're doing in the present moment. And in the present moment, you're touching your tummy. That's all you gotta do. You see how fun that is?
Yeah.
Very effective.
So, I kind of building off what Christine was talking about with using the tummy method, not necessarily kind of like forcing it, but focusing to breathe in the tummy. So, to kind of give a little history, so in Kung Fu training, we do breath work practice, which specifically involves using your tummy to breathe, because that's how we originally took breaths, until as we grew up we learned to take it from our upper chest as we grew, because babies breathe low. If you watch babies breathe, and so, but like when we do it, he talks about how like you really want to push it out, but not necessarily suck it back into like where it's painful. Just kind of like naturally kind of let it out, and then take another big deep breath. Is that how it's supposed to be kind of going, or is it supposed to be like a more natural breathing in, breathe out?
It's okay. Right now, we're just playing with it.
No.
We're just playing with it.
Okay.
And I also caught over-analyzing when you said I'm not trying to bring up excuses. That's over-analyzing. It's natural. It was so natural you didn't even catch it. Okay. But right now, see, we're just playing with it.
Okay.
And there's not anything serious to it, because right now it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's just giving these instructions, and my job is just to try to feel it going up and feel it going down. Because when other Ajahns get into this with you all, he's gonna say, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. And when you don't know, you got to know by feeling your tummy. Okay? So when he says breathing in, you say, I know I'm breathing in, so you can feel everything going in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Okay? And the other common thing that meditation teacher also say is the rising and falling of the abdomen. You will hear that often with other right? You hear that often, rising and falling of the abdomen. And in those moments, you just quickly down to the abdomen, focus on the abdomen, because they're taking lead and they want you to just tummy up, tummy down. And just enjoy it. You don't have to force anything. Just observe its natural movement. Observe its natural breathing. It's doing its thing. It's just doing its thing. So now we slowly go into Butto. In breath But. Out breath To. In breath But. Out breath To. But. To. But. To. Okay, slowly we relax our concentration for debrief. Feedback.
I felt my mind wandering every once in a while, but I seem to have a pretty good handle on bringing it back in when I really focused on the in breath, out breath. Like that was a really quick way to get back.
Mm.
But it was weird because all my thoughts also connected to what I was doing though.
Mm.
It wasn't like it went off to like random errands I had to do. It was like things that could relate to what I was doing.
Like.
Like the pain I feel in my back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or like
But
like
realizing breathing in, and then it kind of just dissipates just a pinch.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
and then I was thinking, I would find myself thinking for a second about like the breath work and Tai Chi, and then I would be like, oh, that's not what I'm thinking about right now. That I go back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's also painful at times.
You know, when I first started with Ajahn Bufeng, the man didn't even look at us. He literally walked up on stage because the monastery was huge and the stage was huge. It was like, the man was like 500 feet up there. All you see was just this old man in gold robes walk, pay respects, hit the gong 3 times. Which you have a bell there, right? You have a bell there. I can see. There's a bell inside there.
You have a sound
Oh, yes, I have
Can
a
I
sound
see that?
bowl.
Yeah,
Yes.
can I? Say singing bowl.
Singing. Yes.
I said bell. I
I
call
said-
it a singing bell.
Then I said sound bowl, so.
Sound bowl singing, yeah. So he would walk up and then he would, ooh, it sounds good. And he would hit it. And he would bow to the Buddha, and then another one. Second time, paying respect to the Buddha, and third time. Yeah. But it was just really loud, and it just detains your mind. We gotta get that.
Well, that was like when we hit the bell of the lot. I was like, for a second, I felt like it was like the sound just vibrated off of all my.
Yeah, I
my
forgot.
skull.
I forgot. That's something I've been dying to get, is that humongous one. Or actually, I usually go in the monastery and start looking for and once I see it, I don't think Thai monastery has it.
The giant bell?
When they pay respect to the Buddha, I don't think they have it.
I haven't seen it at all.
Right.
And
So
I
it's
walk all
only
over it.
it's only like Vietnamese and other. I don't think Sri Lankans got it either. It's only Vietnamese. I think that's so. I'm trying to replicate my training back in the day. God,
Is
it's
it a
been
bigger?
so long.
Is it a bigger bell than they had outside?
Girl, it fit this.
Dang.
It's that big right here, and I swear,
I've seen it.
if I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy it because it's got to be like $5,000
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
But when you hit one of them,
Amazing.
what is the price you're gonna pay for peace? Because I think that's what detained my mind with a kid with ADHD coming into the monastery trying to learn this thing, and when he really loud, right? Okay. Then he says, we're gonna meditate Buddha. He didn't give none of these instructions that I gave you. That's all, and then that's it, and he hits it again. And then he holds the microphone, Buddha. And that's it.
Over and over again.
So you have no choice. In those moments, you have no choice but to actively pay attention because you never know when he's going to provokes anxiety. You never know. You're not going to know when he's going to say "but" again.
I picked up on that with you.
Right.
I would
Right.
be in the middle of
I
an
kept on breathing and trying to do it myself. I'm like, he hasn't said anything, so.
Right. Because
And then I heard it.
the teacher tried to control your mind
Yeah.
with Buddha, so that your mind's like, okay, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to wait. So that way your mind can't jump.
Good point.
It cannot jump. Ah.
So I was supposed to take another deep breath until you said boot again?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Because I kept doing the deep breathing quietly, waiting for you.
Well, it's okay.
And then
Well, it's okay.
and then whenever you said that, even if I was in the middle of a deep breath, I was like, I'm just gonna take more of a deep breath.
Well, I mean, back in the day, it wasn't all perfect. Because sometimes he would like forget to say Butol, and all of us were like,
Please give us an out breath.
Right. And then the other thing about him, when the teacher got this great, because he learned it from somebody. The other thing was when we chanted, oh my God, he was so, and it's too bad that he now has dementia. He now has lost his mind.
Oh.
Literally lost his mind. So he didn't even recognize me anymore. When I went and turned in my urn into the monastery and I like paid respect to him, and he was like, But when we chanted, Bud Sama Sambuddho, oh, I could never get over that because he would be like, it's wrong. But when he's talking on the microphone, it like echoed throughout the huge monastery we had. And all of us were like, oh my God, God just spoke. And God just told us we were wrong. And God says to repeat him. And he's like, Bud. To. Samma Sambuddho. And along the way of reading the text, what was that?
That scared me this morning too.
That's crow's feeder.
Crow's feeder?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And then, just Buddhang. Pujami Buddhang. He always emphasized that darn Bud part of it, of Buddho, and Buddhang, or Sangkang. He has such an ear. When I think about it, I'm like, that's amazing. How this man never looked at us. And all he did was just chant towards the Buddha, and his ears towards the Buddha. But yet he could hear everybody's mistake behind him. Now that I analyze it, I've never given this talk to anybody. My entire 10 years. I've never talked like this way, analyzing my teacher, how he did it. Right? So yeah, we would chant along the way, Yo san ni sen no wera bot hi mu le marang sat se nang. And he would nang. He would hit it down low. So all of us were like, Mahatim vi jay yo. Sambut himaka chi ananta nyan. No. That's how we all got it. And that's how I got it at age 14. Because you see the little snake that tried to run away on top of the A or an N.
Yeah.
Nya, nya, tayo.
No.
But okay, I'm glad he didn't face us because he had a face like this. No, he literally had a face like this. So had he faced us, I think our souls would have just left our body. We all would have just died. Like we don't have to do death meditation because we all died.
We're there.
But yeah, I remember when anything that has to do with nya, tayo, nya, anyang. See? Nati me saranang anyang. Anya, nya, nyang, anyang. Buddho me saranang warang ete na sacha wai je na ho tu me. So this is how I think senior teachers, when everyone's analyzing the way how I chant, they're probably like, oh my god, he's Viet, but he sounds really Thai. Because Bufung he's Viet, but he lived in Thailand for 30 years. And when he speaks Thai, they think he's Thai. And Devon is watching, novice Devon. He's watching he's into chanting. And now he's getting a kick out of this. So again, I just want you guys to really, we talked about getting into chanting. And I don't know how we went from meditation to now chanting.
Natural stream.
But so I think the common theme here is paying attention to the breath, to the technique, and paying attention to small details when it comes to the chanting. That means you have to pay attention when you're writing out the chant. When you're copying these letters right here, because you have to copy them if you want to learn how to chant. You're not gonna just read and just chant along with the flow. Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I was gonna ask. So with me, and what I do with Arwat, how I was able to pick up when I sent you was mostly just listening and repetition. I've never written it down because I just now recently getting this.
Okay.
But I don't. Since you want us to focus on that for now, when it comes to the beginning aspects of chanting,
well,
how would we write that down? Since this is, like you said, this is more Vietnamese, and this is Thai.
Pali's Pali.
Okay.
The Pali in here and the Pali in there is the same.
Okay.
It's just set up differently. They just added more Pali in front of the basic chant.
Okay.
Like, all the Yoso, and then in Laos it is may the grace of being, which is Imina. You hear a lot of Imina, Sakarina. Okay, it starts out and then but in Thai they do Yoso a lot. I'm trying to catch up with the other ones. So, but you see, the fact that Pali is universal and all monks are trained in Pali. Every time when I see it, Ayut Vanyo Sukhang Palang. Ayut Wano Sukhang Palang. Well, actually, this is our. So they added like this 1, 2, 3, 4 part right here. Sabbaroga Vinimito Vinimutto Sappasanta Pavatito Sappave Ramatikanto Nibutto Ja Dupam Pava. But then this is our standard chant right here. Sabidio Vivanjan to Sapparogo Vinasatumate Pawantuantarayo Sukiriha Yuko Bawa Abiwadana Sile Sanichang Buddha Bajani. So unless you are a person that can learn by listening only, by the time I actually got to Sabidiyo, I had to write it down. Because I was just so out of air and energy of all the basic chants that when it came to the blessing chants, I'm like, I'm fried. I was like, and so I had to write it out. So if you can chant and demonstrate to me that you can chant without writing it down and you can sound like Thai people or similar to Thai, because you guys are American, so I don't expect you have to be like nya tayo nya tayo would to, because the B and the H is TH, not would. I can't even say it wrong because I've been conditioned for so long. So I can't even write, but Bhikkhu Bodhi, he kind of reads it without any.
Yeah, did you say he reads it slower?
He reads it as if there is no marking. You know, Salaya, Tana, Pat, Jaya, Paso. You know, some people say like feelings, Vedana, 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 Vedana. So you know, so whatever. If it means a lot to you, and if you fear of being judged, then you would get it right and off to perfection. Because you know what I mean. Or some people who go into the monkhood a little later in life, you can tell they came a little later in life. You can tell when someone's been a monk since they were 10. Because when they chant, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like your first language. And or only language. You know what I mean? Now, if there are monks in the world that speak to each other in Pali, that is impressive. That is impressive. Yeah. I don't expect any of that of you guys. Okay. So yeah, so back to the Buddha thing. Is that yeah, tonight I just want you guys to just have these first initial basics so that you play with it often throughout the day or before you go to sleep. And you have to repeat those instructions in your head when I'm not in your room with you. Or you know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Because this is gonna be a very good stream of now emphasis on practicing. Okay. Of meditation. That's why we're here. This is your life will be well worth it if you can master it in meditation. It'll bring the ultimate peace. Mastering meditation is like having a master's degree and minding your own business, because it's so internal within, peace within, rather than focusing what is outside of us. And we're stopping everything that is outside of us to go inwards, right? And have that relationship, that unique relationship with you and the breath. Who your boyfriend? The breath. Who your girlfriend? The breath. Who you rely on? The breath. What do you depend on? The breath. That's it. Nothing else really matters. So the only self-centered thing that you should be thinking about is my damn breath. Me and my damn breath. Right? So that's what I want you guys, you know, to this is the start of this conversation. Right? Apart from the teachings of the Buddha, Dhamma, this is something that don't get emphasized enough on the outside. And people who go to Watts, they usually, this is their form of meditation. Chanting is a form of meditation. Okay. Because you can't really let your mind wander off when you have to like follow the flow of the words. You get what I'm saying? Like, and when someone is not with the flow, or they pause, or they mess up in the chant, you know their mind just jumped. That's how we know the novices' minds jump. Because we're like, Jattaro, what is it? Swatkato, Bhagavata, Dhammo, Sandhiko, Akaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanahiko, Pachatang, Veditabo, Vinyo, Hiti. But when somebody in there like pause a little too long, or they like mess up a word, Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dak. So Ahuneyo, Dakineyo, and they skip that Pahuneyo. We're like, usually if you catch all of it, somebody will be like. Now the funny part is, most of the time it's the senior teacher that's leading it. Of which in my novice days, when I was watching all the Thai monks, it's especially ETP Soul. 108 times they chant in a day. And as this senior teacher was like, ETP Soul, he starts out real beautiful. Bhagava Arahang Sama Sambuddho Vicha Charana Sampan Kutsugato we do. And the junior monks behind, and they started, all you see was they start laughing. And I was like, y'all better get it together. And then the senior teacher chuckled. He's like, look how we do, Anutaro. And then they go back with the flow. Yeah. Now, when I was in Laos and Ajahn Saidan told me to go chant with the other monks, with the novices, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm the only Ajahn in there. So I go in there, and the rhythm was messed up, and I so happened had to clear my throat. Again, back to the ETP soul, and there were like 20 novices, but the pause happened at the same time. Usually somebody picks up the pace when someone pauses,
Yeah.
but the entire room was quiet while we were chanting, and wrong time when I had to clear my throat, and they paused at the where I had to clear my throat, and I cleared my throat in such an aggressive way, and I picked up the pace for them. Swatgato Bhagavata Thammo Sandetiko Akaliko Hipasiko. They thought I was mad at them.
Oh no.
They thought that I was disciplining them. They didn't even breathe. They just chant the entire way without breathing, without pausing. And and then when they turned around and started to learn English with me, and somebody advertised another novice that he'd been studying English for 4 years, so I'm like, you can speak English? He's like, little. You can see the fear on their faces. And I was like, okay, it's okay. And then they wanted me to give a teaching, and I'm like, crap. Like, they don't speak English, so I'm gonna use Pali. And so I taught Bhutto. In breath, Bhut, breath, To. Bhut, To. And I use my hand gestures. Bhut, To. And then I think I taught them Ayatana, which is eyes, nose, mouth, listening. Just the basic, the novice basic teachings.
Yeah.
So I did my job as an Ajahn who came to remind them of the basics. You know what I mean? But they were all like, and when I was done, because I'm not used to, I've never been exposed that long to Thai or Laos, especially Laos novices. When I was done, they all venerated me. As they should, as expected of them. But I didn't expect that. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, I've been elected as the president. Okay. All right, you all are dismissed.
That really goes to your head.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. But I didn't mean what happened in that hall, and that was all captured on my GoPro too. Because I didn't want to be in there, and I'm like, they're doing just fine. You don't need an Ajahn to supervise. Obviously, all of the Ajahns couldn't be there. Their own Ajahns couldn't be there due to funerals. So the senior novice took lead and carried everybody out. They're all on point. When I got there, they're like, oh my God, we have a visitor. They never want to embarrass a visiting Ajahn, a visiting teacher. Because the visiting teacher can report back to their teacher, and everybody's not going to have a good day. So that's what they were fearful of. Why is fear in there? And I was just chilling, and I was just trying to be nice, but I can just see the look on their face. Like, when I'm looking at them, it looked like they all were doing this to me. In their mind, in their mind, right? And I'm just like, it's okay, it's all right, and I try to give the teaching as much as possible, and I'm like, okay, can I go back to my room now? All right. So, but anyways, so tomorrow, as the basics are given, we'll repeat it again, and we may repeat it even in traffic, lightly in traffic, while your eyes are open, Miss Driver, not while, mood, and then all here is, right behind you, which would be the police telling you to move, because you just close your eyes at a green light, but there's plenty to do as a Buddhist when you're in traffic. Instead of cussing or instead of Karen, because in that moment of, you have suspended judgment. There is a break in between wanting to say, you're a...
I have to try that.
Why do you think in anger management they're like count 1 to 10? Because it gives the mind a break to rethink. This is what you really want to say. Now in Buddhist context, right, all the merits you just accumulated go out the window when you're angry. One instance of anger can destroy all of your merits. That is a very serious consequence. One unwholesome thought, one angry thought can destroy all of your merits. So all that bowing for no reason, all that stuff, veneration, chanting goes out the window. One unwholesome thought. because the wholesome thought was generated with such intent of hate and anger and malice that it destroys your merits. Now, at the Thai monastery, there's a lady who is trying to squeeze her hair of the droplets of water. Now, she's from the Deva realms, and she has a very good connection with the
Isn't
Buddha.
there a sign of a statue of her in the front?
Yeah.
I noticed that.
For every merit that the Buddha had completed or earned was a drop of water into her hair. So when she needed to wash away Mara with the water, literally like flooded Mara away, the Mara that was trying to attack the Buddha, she had all that water in her hair, and each droplet was a merit that the Buddha made that was deposited into her hair.
Oh.
Forgot her name. I'm bad with names. I always am. I'm
That's
horrible
when we were
at
there.
storytelling. So,
Think
but
of
anyway,
it.
but that's why you see her. She not there trying to see if Pantene Pro V works for her hair. She's literally getting all the water to wash away Mara, who was just trying to destroy the Buddha, attacking. But again, the emphasis on the merit was that each droplet, the next time it rains, and each drop hit your windshield is a drop of merit that the Buddha had done made, and that was deposited into her hair. That's how much water she had, just flooding. So that's what you want. Okay, what's the teaching here? That's what you want. You want in your life to always think kindfulness, may all be well, may all be happy. May all who trying to get through traffic make it there safe. May all who trying to bust through this light not get hit. May those who need to get where they go from point A to point B reach nirvana. May those who try to get from point A to point B make it safely through without road rage. So you start redirecting your mind for all things kindful. Because you never know when that person cut you off trying to go to his pregnant wife.
Yeah.
Or using the bathroom.
That's worse.
That is worse, right? But you think, and why do you think this way? Because your mind was programmed to think that other people are attacking you
Yeah.
to ensure your survival. Remember hunter-gatherer? Ensure our group's safety, ensure our safety. So when someone cut off in front of you, you're like, I cannot believe you tried to take me out. Okay, he wasn't really trying to, you don't know that. So we got to think alternatively. CBT. First of all, CBT. And second of all, metta bhavana. Metta, loving kindness, bhavana, meditation. So that you destroy unwholesome thoughts that could arise, because it's already arising. Your speed of your thought is so fast, and the speed of your thought is that fast because you didn't meditate. Had you meditate, the breath would suspend that thought. The breath is the referee in between thoughts. The breath, kind of like, I don't think so. The breath cuts the cord so that the signal can be disrupted of hatred. And likewise, when you go shopping, which you all really took your time in debating and shopping, the breath also suspends cutting off the cord of greed. Do I need it or do I want it? Diabetes or longevity? As I say that to myself, with all the sweets that I got. Okay, so the imperfectly perfect teacher now confesses in front of the whole world. But again, the breath makes you more informed of what's happening, so you don't make impulsive, rapid decisions that it could lead to regret. And if it leads to regret, at night you meditate even harder. Well, it's harder to meditate at night because of that regret that you weren't mindful during the day. Right? So mindful always, so that you don't have to beat yourself up at the end of the day. It's like, oh man, I done drove today for about 20 miles, and each mile there was road rage. All the merits I made, man, in the recycle bin somewhere, whatever. Right? So central key to Theravada Buddhism is always, and of course, as you go to sleep tonight, you can also listen to loving kindness meditation music. When you get your new earbuds, Miss Thang, have you listened to loving kindness meditation music before?
I listen to the music, but
The one that I sent you guys. Did anyone ever do it?
Why would you sing?
Exactly. See, they didn't do it right away.
it's like,
This is
oh.
all the tests I gave you all. You all failed. Why? There was
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You never actually thought deep enough why Ajahn sent us these things. He's got all these jobs, but yet he sends us these things, and no one ever acts on it. Mostly Bree. Exactly. And how do I know you're guilty of it? Because I know. I know what I know.
You just
Right?
know.
And here's the English version of metta. Okay, I dealt with anger for like 20 years of my life. This was the only thing that conquered my anger.
May I be free from enmity and danger. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I actually stole this music at the monastery. When I, God, this is really bad confessions, but when I swear this is why I was like a monk in my past life, because this music got me. I actually ran into the monastery, stole the CD, and brought it home.
Oh no.
When I was younger, when I was like 15 years old, because I didn't know where to find it. There was no Shazam or whatever, or no Siri. What is this song? Okay, I like. Can I borrow this? I brought it back. It wasn't
that's
stealing.
it.
It was borrowing without permission.
Ah.
But second precept. So, anyways, now this is helpful when we go into the four foundations of the four protective meditation functions, which is loving kindness meditation. Because basically you're just repeating this.
Yeah. Okay.
But this also helps you clinically out in the road, of which is what all of us have, which is unkindness on the road because of patience. Especially when time is money, money is time, whatever American philosophy is. So, yes, it's not easy, I know, but we have to apply this type of medicine often.
I didn't know they had music. I listened to a lot of loving kindness meditation, like guided stuff, where they guide you through it. But I never listened to like music. That was cool.
Which was sent to y'all a long time ago.
Uh,
Y'all don't ever check y'all texts?
I'm not sure. If
Okay,
I remember
here's
that
what I was.
one.
Here's what would have impressed me. Can I see your journal? I'm not gonna read it. I just want to hold it. Or she's like, all right, blank here. Okay,
Oh, okay.
blank. All right.
I trust you.
What I was hoping to inspect was every time when I send y'all something, y'all take this little thing and y'all like put today's date. Always put the date
I'd be like, dang.
at the time of when it happened. And then you put, he sent us chant of metta. And I'm going to listen to it tonight, period. Then you're done with that page. You go on to the next one. At the end of the week, you review everything that was sent to you. Everything I sent to you is like platinum, which is more precious than gold, right? And then when you review your notes, you realize I forgot to do that, and that. So it's probably good that I not watch TV and go back to that, and that he sent me and figure out what message he wants me to know. A teacher of this magnitude and caliber doesn't send stuff because it's fun. Or, well, I think she's watching HBO, I'm just going to send it to her. No. I'm trying to give you an explicit, implicit, whatever message to internalize and practice and to impress me when I show up here. Okay, lesson learned, right? Likewise, Stephen was also disciplined. When I feed him information, today you got to see information coming in through my phone, but there's patient or client date of birth, social security number, instructions on who to contact, assistant director, blah, blah. I send it to Steve, and I'm like, Steve, you carry one of these? No. Here's one. And I'm like, whatever happens, write it down. And of course, I'm like, check on that case, and he's like trying to scroll through his phone, trying to find it. And because you didn't write it down, right, Steve? Yeah. But why would you buy something so nice and not use it
Yeah.
in such a way that will make you the best student the world has ever seen? You realize what I just taught you? If you did this, you would supersede me. You would become Ji Dao to the 10th power. And the whole entire world will be like, oh my God, please teach us. Because they're all lost right now. They all have no idea how to do it. But it was I that had to do it because I had ADHD. So I had to be like, oh my God, I need a system to like figure this out. And I forget often. So I'm just going to write down what I'm supposed to do and I'll just go back to it later. But then also remember to come back to it later by putting it in a place where you easily see it, stuff it, whatever. From now on, okay, all your sins have been forgiven. Okay? From now on, anything that I share with you on text message, it is vital, important that you write it down. And when you go into the doctor's office or anything like that, grab the chanting book with you because the translations are beautiful. Okay? Or even the teachings of the Buddha. And you start selecting quotes or things that the Buddha have said and you write it down, you have questions on it. You're starting to download information that needs to be downloaded. You're changing the entire working of your brain and chitta and mind and everything to just Dhamma. If you want your life to be better in merit, in happiness, in internal peace, joy, liberation, rather than worries and all that nonsense. So, but I never had the time to actually tell you all that because you've seen it all.
Yeah.
Even when you guys are calling in, you guys probably like, oh my God, he has so much going on. You know what I mean? So I never had the time. That's why it's important for the teacher to show up because he has to now make sure they get it. And whatever they didn't get over the past year, the teacher's job is now review it and put emphasis and imprint to right now, in this moment, right now. Okay. All right, you guys are very tired?
Look, my journal even comes pin ready, and I still couldn't do it.
Right, because there was lack of discipline.
I got them.
Lack of discipline, which everyone's got except me. If there's a claim that I can make for the entire world is that I was disciplined, irrefutable. And I sent you, which the video I haven't published, of how disciplined I was in taking those notes.
Yeah.
And your job was to replicate it. I sent you for a reason, because I wanted you to replicate what I was doing.
Oh, no. Well, I can start now.
So I have been sending you all these messages. I didn't send it to you just for safekeeping. Now, had you was with her at the same time, you both would have had 3 folders here, 3 folders there. And there's a message he's trying. Can you imagine if Ajahn Chah sent me stuff? I would have been like, he's trying to tell me something. And I would examine everything like a detective, like a forensic detective. And I'd be like, shoot, what does he want me to know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would like turn off everything and figure out what is it that he wants me to know. He's a teacher. I'm his student. He sent me something. He wants me to know something. You read fictions.
I do.
Everyone have their favorite shows.
Yeah.
Most of those shows, what is it they're trying to tell you? Y'all never thought about that.
I usually pick mind-numbing shows.
Ji Dao got plenty of shit to do. And it's like, why did he send me this? He labeled it. He sent it, and it was meaningful to him. He wrote this. And it's going to worth a lot of money when he dies. When he dies, I'm going to be like, y'all listen. He wrote this. He gave it to me. All right. $1,000 a page. But then once you sell it, where's a copy of it? You didn't have a copy of it.
No, I didn't.
Because you never wrote it down. Then when you die, whoever the succeeding student is going to be like, well, Bree got it from Ajahn Tri Dao, and so I'm going to sell Bree's page for $2,000 because it's going to worth more. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just making this joke. You get it? Right.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, if you missed the point, now I'm here to re-emphasize that point.
Yeah.
But now you have plenty to do, And also, all those books up there should have been finished by now. And it should have been finished by now without my knowledge until I showed up and you'd be like, Ajahn,
Well done.
you sent me all this and let me tell you what I got out of it. And I would have been like, Oh my God, no, she did not. Right. So again, life is about challenges, but these challenges make you a better student. Millionaires and CEOs, they read 30 books a year. 20, 30 a year.
Does he have time?
Well, yeah, 'cause they're CEOs.
Yeah, they're CEOs.
That's what
Everyone's
I'm
doing their
saying.
job.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So how do you get to that point when you're not a CEO? You gotta,
Okay,
like the schedule you gave us.
okay. Look at how you spend your time.
That's what I was gonna say.
Let me tell you something about where I'm at right now and at the time of this talk, okay? And my assistant's with me all the time. And I got my notebooks, right over there in that right little thing right there. There's something called clinical notes or field notes. The same thing as Bree, but just a steno notepad. My Life of Buddha book looked like a train hit it 3 times. Why does it look like that? Because it's always with me. And so when I'm in doctor's offices waiting on a patient or the doctor to come out, I'm flipping the pages, I'm highlighting them, and I'm writing it as much as I could down. So it's called micro habits. You just, if you can't do 1 page, do half a page. You can't do half a page, do 1 paragraph. You can't do 1 paragraph, 1 line. Each day, it adds up. The goal of getting a journal is to try to fill that darn thing up as much as you can in 1 day. Or end of the week, see if you can, and then you get better and better. You create the challenge. You create this world of yours. I create this world of mine where I'm gonna get better. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and better is best. In the midst of exercising, eating, pooping, working, yelling at people at work, you know what I mean? But you have to do it as you sit and you breathe. And you have the ultimate discipline. Well, how do you think doctors get through school?
A routine.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you not see the stuff that they have to study? Or like nowadays you go on Facebook and they're trying to advertise medical flashcards or like booklets like this for doctors, which is like 4 times this size,
Yeah.
you know? And you're like, they gotta read in details what a death of a cell is, apoptosis, mitochondria, and, you know, disorders of the mitochondria and cell walls. What? Cell multiplications. You know? So if they can do it, we Theravadan and students of G Dao gotta have this great challenge. Because there's no other greater challenge than what I'm telling you. You can run a mile, yeah, you can run 2 miles, yeah, but academically. Okay, if you don't do this, the ignorant mind will follow your next life and you'll take unfavorable rebirth. And you're gonna know that because you're gonna be like crawling around as whatever, a little mouse, and you'll be like, damn. Now I'm watching another Bree do what I should have done in my last life. You know, and you're like, I'm mad as hell. I can't even eat this cheese I just found. Man, flip this.
And the crow eats them.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? All right. So my point is that I couldn't find any other great. And then look at my life now. My mom died, and my dad's like, you need to learn immigration law. Okay. Willfully accept it without reservation. And I don't like immigration law because I would have done it. I like criminal law. I would have done it a long time ago. And then my dad's like, you know, I'd really like to see you get that damn degree that you always been after, LCSW. So now I got to go back to the ICD-10 and like DSM-5, which is now thicker than any other DSM in comparison. When DSM started coming out, 3, 4 text revision, 5, and now it's like this thick. On top of teaching to all of you and being here. So if I led by example that I could do it, you guys are younger than I am, and you're females. Females are usually better than boys. So, you know, so I'm trying to help you break through that comfort and discomfort, the comfort zone of, well, I have so much going on. Is it an excuse or is it a reason? Truly is it? And look at the pie, which I taught you all this. I said, draw a big circle, friends, family, faith, whatever, friends, family, faith, finance, fiance, you know, and look at the pie and see what you can cut back, you know, adjust, you know what I mean? I did it. And I'm teaching like to Steven. I'm like, Steven, you got one job. You got school and one job. I had 3 jobs. And I had a girlfriend at the time of 3 jobs and this. Because I had desires. I made it work. I had to make, and I had a whole system. And now I have proof of those systems to teach back to the next generation, which is you guys. So, but you be proud of yourself. If you can get through this, you can get through anything. You'll be the top CEOs. You will become a CEO if you can do it. You will become the best of the best in the Dhamma and in life, because the Dhamma prepares you for life. It's not just, oh, he telling us to study about Buddhism and it had nothing to do with life. It has everything to do with life. Make sense? Any questions so far? Don't feel guilty. Just know that no one was here to crack the whip. So he came to crack the whip, and you're like, got it. I know what to do. I mean, all the money that you spent, make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
The pens, you got a whole bag of pens. You know what the challenge is for that bag of darn pens?
Stay close.
Empty the inks.
Well, some of them were mechanical pencils.
It's okay. Well, empty the lead.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? You got all this saved up for nothing.
And I got white out. I want to mess up.
Right. So have fun. My point is, have fun with creative writing. Have fun with the world that you live here. This is your world. Nothing matters out. Don't let the TV distract you from what we're talking about here. When I leave, master this world of yours. You got a whole, you have a Dhamma, you have the world of the Buddha right there on that second shelf. If you don't do this, all the statue you got here is meaningless. Because what I say, what the Buddha would say to you right now. The Buddha would sit right here and tell you the same thing that I just told you. Period. Period. Okay? And that's something that, you know, that's why priests, you all are Christians. That's why priests got that white collar, like I said. The white collar means everything coming out of their mouth, through their throat, up their throat, out their mouth, is consistent with what God, Jesus Christ, would say right now in this room. So, monks, same thing. Whatever I'm telling you now, Buddha would tell you right now. And what you gonna tell Buddha? I ain't got enough time. He is Lokavidu. He knows. He is the knower of the world. You gonna fool the knower of the world that you ain't got no time. Buddha would shake his head and grab a vape. Because he's like,
Yell at us.
y'all done tried me. Right.
I'm
Good.
getting bad habits.
Right. So, you know, part of me coming in here is, you know, shake you guys up a little bit too. Personal responsibility, discipline. Both of you guys are in martial arts, so you're already on the path to discipline. It's physical discipline. Now the mental discipline part. Very important. This right here, everything. That's why we respect monks, because monks are the ultimate Navy SEALs of the mind. And if not, they're unbecoming SEALs of the mind. But as long as they're in robes, they're still training to be SEALs of the mind, or Rangers of the mind. And so we pass this knowledge on to you. You will make less mistakes. You will save more money. You will be happier. You will be healthier. It's all in the name of mind and body for you and your life. And once you fall in love, things going to move 100 miles an hour. You're going to be mindful to see your partner not being mindful. Love mindfully, and then teach it so that you have reciprocity of health, wealth, love, compassion, understanding. You're going to see how it all falls apart because of lack of mindfulness. And then there's no leader in that relationship. So somebody has to be a leader. So my job is to cultivate you to be that leader that I believe that you can be. To lead in life, in work, home, work, school, balance, and in love. Okay, all right, no more. You guys can go to sleep now. I know she yawned like 4 times.
I did.
And yeah, so put these are for examinations, you know. So why did I give you more? Knowing that we already have a lot to do and you have unfinished books, I purposely grabbed more while the other John was talking and put them in your hand so that you're like, oh,
More to read.
more to read. So I really have to step it up after he leaves because, again, he's trying to give us a message. And that message is, I can handle it. He knows I can handle it. That's why he gave it to me. Had he not known you couldn't handle it, he would have yielded the books for somebody else, for other Buddhist practitioners. So the books I've chosen for you, again, Ajahn Chah. One of these sold in my city, in the city of Sarasota, $30 for this thin. I kid you not. When you come to Florida, I will show you the price inside on the little corner here. Just like the Vandana. I don't know how that Vandana book was $8.
Yeah.
But everything else, every Dhamma book I got that I had bought for myself, 18, 27, 25. Nothing less than $15. And this right here, like $70 right here. Ain't nobody got $70 nowadays.
No.
You know what I mean? So again, I need you to put that in your head that it's $70 here. So if you don't read it, it's $70 that you're throwing out the window, or it's just pending. Down the drain, right? And this is by Ajahn Chah, so you really have to read it. So then when you meet Leo, who is well versed in Ajahn Chah, you can be like, nah, I don't think he said that, Leo. Or to concur with Leo, yeah, I read that too. Ah, who's this? Okay, all right. But yeah, and then you guys share. And then when you finish it, share it with the other one.
Yeah.
Send it to the other one. And you send it to her. And then you send it to her. So then you have an exchange system. And then you discuss what you just wrote, compare your notes, and compare what it meant to you. It's a system of Kalyanamita. It's a system of wise friends on the path of Dhamma. Dhamma friends.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I wanted Dhamma friends.
Yes.
Because I didn't have any.
All right. So I dismiss you guys so you guys can rest. You know, I light up like a Christmas tree when I start talking on Dhamma. You see that? Earlier I was like I'm gonna die or something, you know what I mean? And then we start getting into this and I'm like, ding. You know, my eyes are like, I'm luminous. I'm luminous. So that's how you know I have the zest and zeal for the Dhamma, and watching you all grow into the path of arahants. Absolutely. It can be done. Yeah. Teachers don't hang around dumb students. Teachers hang around with students that they're like, she gonna be a lotus. Just watch. You know? Right. Okay, thank you. No more questions, right? You sure? If you do, just write it down. We'll address it tomorrow.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that way, it's 11:29, so you can wake up early and knock out whatever you gotta knock out, and then we'll go to the university tomorrow.
Yes.
So, awesome. Thank you all for joining across the world and deep listening. I think everyone's very concerned. For all those who are new joining, I'm okay. With my mom's passing, Dad's doing good. We're just carrying on my ministry. So this cat just loves me.
I know.
Does he ever do this with anyone?
He always is like this, but I love how he was quiet during the whole Dhamma talk.
Yeah, and
He
his eyes
knew.
were like,
Oh.
He knew it was an important talk.
Mm.
Right, Crow?
By the way, when you go to monasteries and you see animals coming up to monks, they always go up to the monks that don't violate precepts.
Ah.
The calm, peaceful ones.
That's good.
The monks that are angry and don't keep precepts, animals stay away from because they're like not safe.
I'm like, I can feel it.
You know, it has to do with safety. Mm-hmm.
This way just a little bit, Crow. There you go. Oh, now you talk.
Thank you all for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to send it through my Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger. I'd like to conclude my night, rest, and tomorrow we have a full day. More to post as we go along. So again, if you subscribe to the other social media, especially TikTok, I put everything on TikTok first, then Instagram, then YouTube, and then Facebook. Yeah, so take care, folks. Basics in meditation.
I'm so excited to do this. I love
And by the way, since you guys are getting into chants, I also have to go back to Thai chants and write it down myself. I now
Yeah.
have to go back because I'm so darn old that I have to write all the extra stuff that put it in front of the basic stuff that we studied.
So I was gonna ask you that. Tomorrow, within the book that you tonight gave me, I don't think I both of them. No. I guess maybe are you able to like pinpoint like any basic ones that
Yeah.
I could learn?
Yeah.
You know. Of
Yeah.
my own
Yeah.
passions?
Yeah, so I think tomorrow I may stop by Home Depot or Staples
Okay.
to get like not highlighters, but those arrows that you can just put in. The arrows you can put in. That or yeah, I think that's the best way to do. That's one thing that kept me. I procrastinated was the Viet chants don't got English translation nor title. And so I couldn't send you all that because there was no translation. And at home, I have the Thai chants that have translation, but then there's one book in there that was Vietnamese that was well done at my other teacher's monastery. And I didn't copy that and send it to you guys because I was so busy. So that's why it was all over the place. And then in my head, I was like, no, I don't. Why would you give them a chance right now in the middle of studying the life of Buddha? Why would you give them a chance right now when they haven't even meditated? So that lawyer in my head was like, why don't you just withhold and just go one step at a time? The problem is in Theravada, there's a lot of instructions, and sometimes teachers do cycle through not in order, and it confuses you guys. So I had to also discipline myself and be like, don't do that. Try to do one thing at a time. Make sure they get it, no problems, and then go to the next. So technically, I still have reservations on you guys chanting, but we're already here. She's already going to the Wat. I gotta dish you guys out to the Wat so that you sit and meditate, and part of that is chanting. So it's like sending y'all to school. Go with the program at school and report back to me.
Okay.
So we go to Staple Office Depot tomorrow and get those arrow things, that sticky
Yeah.
that doesn't damage the pages, and I just put the arrow down for the basic ones that, so.
Okay. Yeah.
But no biggie. Don't just go with the flow. Don't have any expectation. I don't expect you guys to chant right away
Oh.
or within the next year. We got so much to do within the remaining balance of the year.
Or no poly.
Yeah. Don't don't get carried away with analyzing all that, because that's supposed to be towards the end when you have leisure time. Everything's been translated in English. Why would you sit there and pull your hair out of your head translating Pali?
Do they ever?
Because they did it for you already.
Well,
so why would you try to replicate that with scholars? You're not a scholar, number one. And number two, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do they ever chant in English, or is it always?
They
in
sing,
Pali?
actually. They chant and sing in English.
Okay.
Yeah. But it just doesn't sound as cool.
It doesn't sound as pretty.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't.
The
That's
chant
very
of
true.
Metta was singing. They sung in Pali and sing in English.
Ah.
So the chant of Metta. So when you put it on your phone tonight and try to put yourself to bed with it.
That would be nice because I was taking, I have another TV, but I have never plugged it in this apartment because I wanted to get comfortable with sleeping to silence.
I love that. I do that every night.
Or I put on rain sound, so I'm kind of excited to try and listen to singing.
Yeah, just try not to analyze too much as you're dozing off. So that can also keep you up because you're trying to like understand what she's trying to say, because it's new to you. You know what I mean? And there's also the version without English. It's just the Pali, so that puts you to bed a little bed, so you don't have to analyze.
Like I have no idea what's being said.
Yeah.
This sounds pretty.
And you analyze too much and be like, may I be well, may my neighbors, may my teachers, and then you end up like it's like 2 a.m.
Like I don't like my neighbor. Why do I want them to be well?